We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Emmanuel Ogbah, just returned to the Miami Dolphins, and honestly, much needed depth signing after, the Shaq Barrett retirement. Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb still rehabbing, coming back from major injuries, and honestly, he just gives a different skill set to the edges you have on the roster. And, there's a couple reasons, I like the move. I think the main thing being is that he just is a much better scheme fit for this new defense under Anthony Weaver than he was under Fangio. He'll get to play more in that clowny type role where he'll have his hand in the dirt more often, which I think helps him out. He's also one of the better guys in the NFL at just getting his hands up, getting pass deflections, knocking the ball down. Very comfortable doing that. And I think he should complement some of the rookies nicely, because I expect an early season impact with having Chop Robinson, Muhammad Kamara have to play early snaps, and he's just a much better run defender. Doesn't have quite the same juice he used to as a pass rusher, but definitely still has some moves in the tank, specifically with his cross chop, or just, utilizing his length to his advantage, opening people up, things like that. If he can stay healthy, I still think he has enough to be a decent contributor, especially because we only need him to make a huge impact early on. So, when he's at his most fresh, without the injuries, that should be helpful. Because I think that's kind of what slowed him down the past 2 years, is he had injuries, and then just the Fangio scheme didn't suit him as well. But yeah, I expect to see more out of him for this upcoming season, which is nice. I think the deal was 1 year up to $5 million, so we'll need to see what the up to actually means. I'm expecting it not to be much, but the incentives can really raise it pretty deeply. But he still got after the quarterback in his limited snaps, which I think he looked better actually, probably as a pass rusher, because that's what Fangio's schemes asked for. It's not as run defense heavy, which, under Flores, you got to really see that skill set. But here, first Russell Wilson, firing off the ball, really utilizing his length to his advantage, and just understanding, how to attack the leverage of these offensive linemen, with this, outside, pretty, in a wide nine environment. Nice to see him play with, the two hands in the dirt, definitely feel more comfortable. But attack the mid half of this guy, which, this guy looks like he's going to overset, but with him attacking down the midline, this guy is able to not get as far outside. He gets engaged, and now he just turns him open, rips underneath, and then forces Russell Wilson to escape the pocket. Almost finishes. Nice. Would want to see him finish more. He doesn't finish this sack either, but he definitely has the experience to finish. But a couple reps where he's being pretty disruptive. Really good cross chop. He's always had this cross chop right here, really well timed versus the Giants right tackle. Boom, swipe down, then rip underneath. Just more comfortable. He's always looked way more comfortable with his hand in the dirt. When he has to stand up, I just feel like he doesn't look as explosive, as comfortable. So him playing with more of those clowny type snaps, because those Baltimore fronts were a lot more versatile. They usually have one guy hand in the dirt on the edge, the other guy standing up, which fits the Dolphins' skill set of edge defenders much nicer. And he still just knows how to use his hands, hand fight, use his length to his advantage, swipe away, boom, boom, boom. Love the hand fighting here. And his length is so good. He has such elite length, which I think is kind of needed for the Dolphins position, because the rookies, Kamara, Chop, super explosive, but smaller players don't have the greatest length to utilize. So having someone that can, complement their skill set, I think is pretty nice early on. Because once Phillips and Chubb come back, they're going to be your main edge contributors, with, everyone else getting their rotation in. And I don't think Ogbah is as, has as much pass rush juice as a Shaq Barrett was going to have. But I think Ogbah offers you more as a run defender, and will give you plays like this with getting hands up. He knows how to utilize his length, get his hands up, knock those passes down. He's been doing it for years. That's something doesn't really go away. And he can still do those types of plays right there. Another nice get off. I feel like most of his good reps come from him with a hand in the dirt, even though he played majority of his snaps standing up. And this is just good work, getting engaged. Get this guy to open up his hips. Now rip underneath. Now once you've turned him with your power, it just be opening the gate there, and then boom, rip, get after the quarterback. Good job stripping the ball out there. Nice work from Ogbah. Consistent reps, and he can still do some good things when he's standing up like this. But this is where majority of his snaps came, and just constantly, working high effort, high motor, getting after the quarterback. Get this guy to overset, and now once you've worked him past the quarterback, you work back to the inside. Like that, he always is slapping down, trying to get the ball out, those types of things. I think Ogbah is just a decent signing to have early in the season. There wasn't too many options out there. Whether there was Unique Ngakoue, They could have brought back like Melvin Ingram. But, he still gets the job done. Not expecting him to be like an elite player for them, but they just needed some bodies there because they were not going to have too much experience at the position early on in the season. And then, yeah, he definitely got to show off more of his run defense chops when he was playing it, like, because this is from 2 years ago, playing more in like that Flores style defense, under Boyer, things like that. Get across the face of this tight end. Good recognition skills, not allowing him to get cut off there. Using that inside or that left hand right there to really keep himself clean, his chest clean, making plays like that pretty consistently. Then using his hands, stack, shed, throw it. This is Isaiah Wynn actually to the side there. Release back underneath of the play, just really good feel. He can also set the edge, as we'll see. He's definitely comfortable doing that. They needed an edge setter. It's more, a thing that you need within this defense. He gets off the ball, utilizes his length, his power to set this edge. He resets the line of scrimmage as well, which is really, really nice. And then just come off of it, make that tackle, try to get that ball out. And he kind of just has those types of plays littered all over the film. He's doing it here versus the Falcons, just setting the edge, reset the line of scrimmage. Like, look at him compared to the rest of the line of scrimmage. Everyone else is fired off the ball, getting pushed back, and Ogbah has reset that line of scrimmage, and then forced it back into inside help where everyone else is there, fly to the ball, everyone rally, make a tackle. And even though you don't get the stat there, Ogbah's the one who really set this play up. And I feel like they just need that because Chop and Kamara, I have faith in as getting after the passer, but I don't have a lot of faith, especially early on, is their run defensibility holding up. I think that could be a concern. And Ogbah is still a pretty solid player when healthy. Not quite the same pass rusher, but when I saw him, looking fully healthy, he still had some pretty nice reps. And he has a good feel too, and understands how to use his length. He has a good feel for like this guy oversetting, being able to steal back to the inside, getting after. Like, you can just see how long his arm length is, actually ridiculous. And that's such a big plus for a trait for your typical edge defender. And Ogbah still has some pass rush moves to work with, especially that cross chop, power rip underneath. Use that speed to power as well. Constant hand fighting, and then definitely has a lot of that run defense ability that you want. Just littered all over his film from years past. Maybe not as much this past season, but definitely still has that left in the tank. And then also just being one of the better ball defenders. Get your hands up, make a play, and that's gonna be helpful. He's not quite a top tier player, but that's not what you're gonna get at this point in free agency, and that's not what you're expecting. We just need someone to contribute at a solid level. We needed more bodies at the position, and I think Ogbah is a guy that can give you mostly just average snaps, just like average plays, nothing too like crazy high, nothing too crazy bad, and then give you like a couple snaps a game where he's like makes a high level play. So if you guys are doing that, comment, subscribe, let's get it on.